second lecture on synthetic dyes. In the earlier lecture, we have introduced the organic molecules which serve as dyes or which serve as colored compounds. We have discussed the historical aspect and different advantages and disadvantages related to natural and synthetic dyes, and then we had discussed the classification of dyes on the basis of their composition and on the basis of their application. In the present lecture, we will discuss various theories of color and chemical constitution. Under this category, we will discuss Witt's theory, and then we will discuss chromophores and auxochromes, which are basically certain groups in the molecules which are responsible for color. We will then discuss the limitations associated with Witt's theory. We will discuss Kuhnoy theory of color and constitution, and then we will discuss valence bond theory. In present day's lecture, we will also take some questions, or we will, with the help of questions, we will discuss why a particular molecule shows color whereas the other does not show color, or what chemical constitution is related to color in the molecule. So, to start with the theories of color and constitution, first of all you should know what actually is white light made up of. I think most of you must be knowing that white light is a combination of light of all wavelength in the visible region of 400 to 700 nanometers. Different substances show different colors because they absorb and reflect different wavelength of white light which falls on them. A substance that absorbs all the wavelengths of white light appear white, whereas a substance that reflects all the wavelengths of white light appear black. A substance that reflects a narrow band of wavelength of one color and absorbs all other wavelengths has the color of reflected light. Similarly, a substance that absorbs a narrow band of wavelength of one color but reflects all other wavelength has the color due to the combination of remaining wavelengths. Or in other words, we can say that the color of a substance depends on the wavelength of light reflected and not on the wavelength of light that is absorbed by that particular substance. A substance appears blue if it absorbs all the wavelength of light except a narrow band around 450 nanometers which it reflects and which corresponds to blue color. If a substance absorbs light of a particular wavelength, our eyes perceive complementary colors. For each color in the visible region, there is a complementary color. For example, if a substance absorbs light of wavelength 590 nanometers, it will absorb orange color and will appear blue, which is its complementary color, which it is going to reflect. The complementary color and absorbed color at a particular wavelength of light have been summarized in this table. Here you can see that we have discussed here the wavelength in nanometers of the colored which are colors which are absorbed. Here the color the colors associated with that particular wavelength, and these are the complementary colors. Actually, complementary colors are the colors which you see when that particular substance comes in front of you. For example, the wavelength between 400 to 435 absorbs violet color of the visible region, but is reflecting the yellowish green color because of the complementary color. So, here you can see with this table that if a substance is appearing, say for example purple or red, that means the chemical present in this substance can absorb the light of these two wavelengths. That is, if it is showing a purple color, if you see a color as a purple one, that means the substance present in it is absorbing the wavelength of light between 500 to 500 nanometers. We will now discuss Witt's theory. Now, since you have the idea about the complementary colors and the color absorbed, we will see with the help of these theories on color and constitution that how are we going to relate the chemical composition of a molecule to a particular color. And on this line, the first theory was given by this Mr. Witt, basically the name of the scientist who gave or put forward this theory. According to Witt's theory of color and chemical composition of dyes, a colored substance or a dye is essentially composed of two parts, the chromophore and the auxochrome. The chromophore in Greek means chroma, that means the color, and phoron means the bearer, that is object or a chemical or a part of a molecule which bears the color can be named as chromophore. The color chromophore can be defined as a substance or as a group in an organic molecule because of which the molecule shows color. So, the color in an organic compound is due to the presence of certain groups having multiple bonds. Witt designated these groups having multiple bonds as chromophores. The chromophores therefore are color bearing groups and their mere presence produces color in the molecule. A group is called a strong chromophore if it imparts sufficient color to the compound, while a weak chromophore is one which is unable to impart sufficient color into the molecule. The compounds containing chromophoric groups are called chromogens. The groups having unsaturation and electron withdrawing nature have appreciable effect on absorption of light. The absorption is enhanced if the group are present in conjugation, which in turn is responsible for the color in the compound due to absorption in visible region. Here we have displayed a number of groups which are classified as chromophoric group, and if you will look at all these groups you will find that almost all of them have double bonds in it, or double bonds are there in conjugation with other double bond, which actually enhances the color into the molecule. It has been observed that chromogen containing only one chromophore group is usually yellow in color. The intensity of the color generally increases with the increase in number of such chromophoric groups. For example, here you can see that ethene molecule has only one double bond and that is why it is colorless, whereas this molecule, this is a 14 carbon containing hydrocarbon having 6 double bonds, and all the 6 double bonds are in conjugation with each other. As a result, the molecule shows yellow color. We have a few more examples here. You can see this benzene, it has 3 double bonds, they are in conjugation, but even then benzene is colorless. On the contrary, nitrobenzene, azobenzene, parabenzoquinone or orthobenzoquinone, all of them show color, and the reason behind it is the extended conjugation. We will discuss about them in detail later on. The second part of a molecule, or you can say second group in a molecule which is responsible for color, is auxochrome. The groups which are not responsible for the color directly, but when present along with chromophores deepens the color of the compound. Such groups are called auxochromes. Auxochromes are electron donating groups like amino group or alkyl amino group or hydroxy or alkoxy groups. Here you can see this is amino group, alkyl amino group, hydroxy group, and this is alkoxy group. All of them can donate the pair of electron present on them. On oxygen you can see 2 pairs of electron non-bonding, whereas on nitrogen we have 1 pair of electron. So, all these groups are classified as auxochromes. We have a few more examples here where you can see that both chromophores and auxochromes are present in the molecule. In these particular examples you can see that we have this chromophoric group only, auxochromic group is present. Here also this is a chromophoric group, there are 2 chromophoric group in this molecule. In this particular example again you can see this is nitrobenzene, we have a chromophoric group here, the nitro group, and the whole molecule is called chromogen because it contains a chromophoric group. In this molecule which is para-nitroaniline, we have an amino group and we have a nitro group. We have recently discussed here in the same lecture that amino group serves as oxochromic group because it enhances the color because of electron donation of non-bonded electron pair on nitrogen. So, this molecule has darkening in color. The nitrobenzene is yellow, only yellow in color, whereas para-nitroaniline becomes orange in color. The darkening of color is because of the presence of this oxochromic group in this molecule. We have so far discussed the postulates, we can say, or various effects due to which a compound shows color. We will now explain a certain points where you will find that Witt's theory did not work, and they are called the limitations of Witt's theory. There is actually no explanation as to why some groups act as chromophores and other groups are acting as oxochrome. Witt actually did not give any explanation to this point. He only said that these groups are chromophores, these groups are oxochromes, but he did not say that why they are chromophoric, why they are giving color and the other are only enhancing color. The other drawback or limitation of Witt's theory was that there is no explanation for deep color of indigo and triphenyl methane dyes which have only weak chromophores. Like in case of this indigo, you can see that we have these two are the chromophores, but this is oxochromic group, this is also oxochromic group. So, even then the color of indigo is electric blue, very bright blue color is there. So, according to Witt's theory, the molecule should not show that bright color. So, because of these limitations, a new theory was developed, and that theory is called cunoid theory for the color and constitution. According to this theory, compounds containing ortho and para cunoid structures are responsible for the presence of color in an organic molecule. According to cunoid theory, the molecule should have this cunoid structure. Cunoid structure means there is an extended delocalization possible, and we have two carbon oxygen double bond over there at the para position. That is why this molecule is called para-benzoquinone or para-cunoid structure, and this is yellow in color, whereas benzene is colorless. The drawback of this cunoid theory is that even though this para-benzoquinone shows color because of the presence of carbon oxygen double bond in conjugation with carbon carbon double bond, there is very a deep coloration in azo compounds, and azo compounds do not have cunoid structure. So, the answer to this question was also not given by the cunoid theory of color and constitution. On the basis of cunoid theory, we can discuss the color present in a phenolphthalein in alkaline solution, where is no color when it is in acidic solution. You all know that phenolphthalein shows pink to red color in alkaline solution, whereas it is colorless in acidic medium. If you look at the phenolphthalein structure in alkaline medium, you can see that it has a cunoid structure, para-cunoid structure is there in phenolphthalein, and because of this para-cunoid structure it has color, whereas in this particular molecule in acidic medium the phenolphthalein does not show color because the molecule is simple or organic molecule having 3 benzene rings. Delocalization is there, but cunoid structure is absent. So, we can very easily correlate the cunoid structure in a molecule with the color. Again we will see these two examples. Here this is iminoquinone and this is diiminoquinone. Both of them do not show color, whereas you can see that both of them have para-cunoid structure. So, sometimes this theory is failed to explain why the color is associated with one molecule, but is not associated with the other molecule having similar structure. Or in other words, we can say that this is also not the final word on color and constitution associated with organic molecules. There are many colored compounds. There are some more examples where colored compounds are there, but they do not have cunoid structure. So, we will have to find out the answer to the question of color associated with molecule with some other theory. So, now we will again move on to another theory on color and constitution, and this is named as valence bond theory. The important postulates of this valence bond theory have been summarized in different points. The first point here is that there is presence of chromophores, or you can say chromophores are present in colored compounds, and these are the groups or atoms in which pi electrons may get transferred from the ground state to excited state by the absorption of energy. This absorption of light gives color to the compound. Auxochromes are the groups which increase resonance by the interaction of unshared pair of electrons on nitrogen or oxygen atom of auxochromes with the pi electrons of aromatic ring, and that is why they enhance color. Increased resonance result in increased intensity of the light absorption, which in turn shifts the absorption band to a longer wavelength, and increase in resonance deepens the color of the compound. The dipole moment changes as a consequence of oscillation of electron pair are also responsible for the color associated with the molecule. The ease of excitation of different groups follows this order. That is, here it is nitrogen oxygen double bond. This is a molecule which may have carbon and sulfur double bond. Here this is nitrogen nitrogen. So, if you look at these groups in molecules, the maximum excitation is possible with nitrogen oxygen double bond, whereas minimum will be with a molecule having carbon carbon double bond. So, somehow it gives us some answer. That is, for example, in benzene we have all carbon carbon double bonds, whereas in nitrobenzene we have carbon carbon double bond as well as nitrogen oxygen double bond also. So, nitrobenzene shows yellowish color, whereas benzene is colorless. So, this valence bond theory makes sense that way. The valence bond theory explains the relation between color and symmetry of the molecules also. As the number of charged structures, canonical structure or resonance structure increases, the color of the compound deepens. The conjugated system of double bonds provide extended resonance, which is responsible for the deepening of color of compounds. For example, benzene is colorless and nitrobenzene is pale yellow and para-nitroaniline is orange red in color. Benzene does not have any chromophoric group, nitrobenzene has a chromophoric group, and para-nitroaniline has chromophoric as well as auxochromic group, and that too it has extended resonance or extended conjugation. We will discuss now some cases which will illustrate valence bond theory. The first case is that the benzene is colorless. We have earlier also described this thing, that benzene is a resonance hybrid of two structures which have been shown here. You can see that benzene is a resonance hybrid of these two structures. These two structures, if you look at, they are completely equivalent and they do not carry any charge. So, they contribute towards resonance maximum. We have written here this structure also, but this has a positive charge as well as a negative charge. So, contribution towards resonance due to this structure is very less, and that is why benzene molecule absorbs light only in UV region and the absorption is weak due to symmetry of the molecule. Two things are there, that one, that the molecule is symmetrical, and the other, resonance is possible or resonance is effective resonance is due to only these two structures, which is the reason that benzene molecule is colorless. Now, another case where we will show why nitrobenzene is pale yellow in color. In nitrobenzene, charged structures contribute much more than in case of benzene. Consequently, nitrobenzene absorbs light of longer wavelength, producing a pale yellow color. Nitro group is a chromophore and imparts color due to resonance. With the help of nitrobenzene, we will now discuss valence bond theory. You can see that nitrobenzene is pale yellow in color, and the intensity of absorption in nitrobenzene owes to the loss of symmetry of the molecule. whereas in case of benzene the molecule was quite symmetrical. Also nitro group is a chromophoric group and it imparts color due to resonance. You can see that this positive charge is delocalized within this benzene ring. Here we have positive charge on nitrogen. Now this positive charge is moving into the benzene ring, and because of which there is increased delocalization which results in the pale yellow color in nitrobenzene. Another example where you will see that if we introduce amino group, the color changes from yellow to orange, as in case of para-nitroaniline. In this case you can see that we have a nitro group already there and an amino group at para position to nitro group. Nitro group is a chromophoric group and amino group is oxochromic group, and because of the presence of this lone pair of electron there is delocalization within the ring, and you can see a positive charge develops on nitrogen and negative charge moves around or delocalizes with the pi electron cloud of benzene ring. As a result, there is further increase in the intensity of absorption of light, and that shifts the absorption band to a longer wavelength and further deepens the color of para-nitroaniline. Another example which actually reinforces or favors valence bond theory is that why para-nitrophenol is colorless but is pale yellow in alkaline medium. Nitrophenol has two resonance structure, out of which only one has charged structure. In alkaline medium it exists as nitrophenoxide ion, where all the structures which contribute towards resonance are charged. You can see here in this example that this is the phenoxide, para-nitrophenoxide, where all these structures have negative charge, delocalized negative charge, whereas in case of para-nitrophenol can have only two structures, and that is why there is further deepening in color is observed in alkaline medium, because para-nitrophenol is converted into para-nitrophenoxide in alkaline medium. To summarize this lecture, in this particular episode we have discussed various theories related to color and constitution. We have discussed why a particular substance having a particular chemical shows color, and under this category we have discussed Witt's theory of color and constitution. We have discussed what are chromophores and oxochromes, and then we have also discussed with the help of certain examples the limitations associated with Witt's theory. We have discussed Cunoid theory of color and chemical constitution and valence bond theory of color and chemical constitution. In the next episode, we will discuss the modern theory on color and chemical constitution. In the modern theory, we will discuss the electronic transitions which occur within a molecule because of a particular chemical structure. Like for example, if a molecule has carbon-carbon double bond or carbon-oxygen double bond, then it will have different transitions which will fall on different wavelengths, and because of which we will see different color associated with different molecules of different chemical composition. Thank you very much.